The flames killed 8 people and destroyed more than 1,000 homes and more than 229,000 acres burned.
Environmental dispatch.
I've been watching an orange glow that I thought you guys had under control. That I was sure there was lots of reports, but I'm starting to see like flames flickering and a little concerned.
We have a fire on the freeway and in that area.
No, this is not on the freeway, and so it appears to be like it's getting bigger.
On the night of October 8th, 2017, we were notified, sort of, by my mom's friends. They were texting us, telling us that there was a fire, and then the news had said that there was a fire. We got a call from, I believe, the sheriff's station telling that there was a fire, but there was no need to evacuate. We eventually chose to evacuate after the power went out in our house. So we left here in 2 separate cars because we didn't know our street was on fire, and we were like, 2 cars is better than 1. Unfortunately, I had to leave my car here. As we left our street, you couldn't see it until we got up and over the second hill, because our street has 2 hills, and the entire front of it was in flames. So there's 2 ways to get out of our street. We tried to turn right and go down a different street. It ended up being so much on fire that we couldn't get out. So we had to turn back, and my dad in his truck had to drive through the flames to like break a barrier open so that other cars could follow us. We watched 2 of our neighbors turn back to their house, and they ended up surviving by staying in their pool overnight. And then actually leaving down Mark Westerns Road, there was cars on fire, melted, like tires had melted off cars, so they had just left cars there. You couldn't see 2 inches in front of you. My experience with the fires was obviously hard because we did lose our house, and we had a hard time experience getting out of the house and out of our neighborhood. And then even after the fires, we didn't live in like our own house for 6 months, which was hard on our family. I feel like our county, yes and no, is more prepared. Partially, they don't realize what turning off the power can do to people that were affected by the fires, because for some people it freaks them out. I know a couple people that I'm friends with that were like panicking when it happened. Now that it's been 2 years after the fires, I have noticed some like changes in my lifestyle, that most of it's like back to normal, and like I go to school and everything, but like I've suddenly had like anxiety attacks sometimes, and like a couple months ago we had power outages, so to like stop fires again, which that like freaked me out because I like had been through the experience before. For me personally, I have some PTSD from it. Like I can't watch movies with fires in it, and when I hear about fires it freaks me out. The biggest thing that like scares me is like the orange glow of the sky. If I see that, I kind of like, not panic, but like it gets my heart racing. When the fires happened this year in Windsor and around Windsor, they were more prepared by evacuating us all faster. They had more of a safety plan, and we were able to get back faster. Like it took us 4 to 5 weeks to get back to even seeing this house. It's definitely better, but also some of it arises more problems in different ways.
My name is Jennifer Funk. I'm a professor of biology and environmental science in Schmid College of Science and Technology here at Chapman University. The way that my research interacts with fire is primarily through my study of invasive species. So that's part of the equation as to why fires are becoming more common. So an invasive species is just a species, a plant or an animal that is not from a particular area. So it was introduced by humans from one part of the globe to another. And what's unique about these species is that they all are annual plants, which means that they germinate about now during the wet season, and they complete their whole life cycle during our winter. And so then they go into the hot, dry summer that we have in Southern California, and they basically die, and they leave behind this really, really, really dry, flammable biomass. And so a lot of these invasive species have really helped start these fires. The Santa Ana wind phenomenon occurs throughout the state. Those winds are really important for starting some of these really crazy fires. So what's interesting about California systems is that the native plants are adapted to fire. In fact, there are a lot of species that require fire in order for the seeds to germinate. But usually, like historically, the fires, they start and they spread very slowly. Now, because of climate change, that water content is lower, and so the fires are spreading faster. But fires are also becoming more common because of climate change. It's not too late to actually reverse the direction of climate change. It's an inconvenient truth. People just don't want to have to think about it or deal with it. And just being able to say that it's just, some hoax perpetrated by, the liberal media or something like that, that might be just more convenient.